It is a world of darkness. The sin of Cain has spawned the cursed horror that stalks the night in search of living blood. The kindred have long been a secret influence through all ages of human history, plotting against each other in a never-ending jihad. Their immortal progeny are among us to this day, hidden from the eyes of humanity by an elaborate masquerade.
Burn it at both ends. I like the fire causing mayhem. I'm not tired, I've been waiting. I'm not forsaken. I'm my own and I'm jaded. Energy comes from my hatred. Call me the villain, cause I be killing. I got no feeling, I've been dealing with all my demons. I like to feed them, they be chilling. Yeah, they be screaming. I can hear them in my mind. They just wanna find any fight, any reason.
Dark side, there ain't no place to hide. All your fears are electrified. Welcome to the hard side, where it's all do or die. We're the shadow to the light. I can feel it in my bones. I'm addicted to the thirst. I ain't never letting go, even when it hurts. This is my curse.
Have to be working to deserve it. Adrenaline is surging, ain't no serving. I'm the king, bring me everything that I've ever wanted, that I need. I believe I could be anything, watch me. Give me a second to blow, give me a second to grow. Be at the top of the show, be at the top like a pro. I flip the switch, different mode. No, they ain't laughing, no joke, cause I attack when they won't.
Welcome to the dark side, there ain't no place to hide. All your fears are electrified. Welcome to the hard side, where it's all do or die. We're the shadow to the light. I can feel it in my bones. I'm addicted to the thirst. I ain't never letting go, even when it hurts. This is my curse.
Down the Disney
Flashbacks.
Yes, there is a Peter and Peter.
Oh,
It's the same character, right?
I know there was
No.
twins, right?
They're twins, yeah.
Oh, I didn't know that. I misremembered.
From Muppet Babies.
Yeah. We were getting into character, and so we decided to discuss the Muppet Baby lore.
Okay,
You
so we
caused
are
yet
live.
another massive-
Todd, we need you to tilt your camera down.
More?
Yep.
There you go.
Yes, Mr. Wilson.
Yeah, it's going to need to come down. It keeps tilting back up.
It is better.
Better.
Okay.
I mean, I'd have to leave
We're
and come
still, we
back.
can only see the bottom, like, this is where the view is.
Should I leave and come back so I can see my face? I don't know what to do.
No. The
No, just
physical
tilt it-
camera needs to be
tilt it
tilted
a little
down.
more.
That's
When you
what I
tilt-
keep doing.
When you tilt it down, it keeps coming back up.
There you go.
Or
I don't know.
maybe sit on the phone board.
I don't know what to do. I thought it was okay.
That's too low.
Oh my!
I can't see it. That's why I said I would leave. And
Hey,
come back.
go up. You need
Now-
to go up.
Yeah, now
it's too
up a
low.
little bit.
A little more.
Just a tad more.
Leave it there. God, don't make him go. It'll.
That's good.
That's good.
That's
actually.
fine. You're fine.
That's good.
We can see your face. You're
Yeah.
good.
We
Okay.
understand it.
Okay, so with that, I don't think we really need to do a recap because I think all of the game is going to be a recap, if I'm understanding correctly. And Davy Jones apparently wants Revis's shirt. So
I'm sorry. It's a collector's edition. I'm wearing it specifically for tonight. It's my formal Sedite Justicar shirt.
okay, gotcha.
Nice. Very cool.
So, then what? So, since we already spoke about this, then Brittany, so you end up getting a text, first thing, and in the quote unquote morning, which you have to obviously throw the fur babies off in order to get to, which is kind of like the nightly ritual for you now.
There's plural.
You've got Cuddles up on your head, which when you start to stir, he gets up and gets out of the way. But your phone is buzzing.
Well, I will look at it first before answering.
Okay, you look at
And
it.
then I will answer.
And okay, so the text coming in is from you have it labeled the Marshal. Probably something along those lines.
This can't be good. This is never good.
So do you text or call?
Well, what is his message? Is it call me?
Yeah, his message is we need to meet.
Okay, I will call him.
Okay. So you call him and he picks right up. And he says, Sophie, good that you called. We need to meet.
Is everything okay? I mean, obviously it's not if you're calling me.
I think he answered
Is it-
that question, so we should probably meet.
When and where?
Why don't you come down to what is the name of that place? Here we go.
At least he didn't say the station.
Yeah. You're like, because that's under repair. Why don't you come down to the tomb?
That's that club, right?
Correct. Yes. I think you would define that as a club.
Wait, is that what Shelley's club is called?
Yes.
Okay. Okay. Hence the face that she's making right now.
Mm-hmm.
Sure. Okay. Yeah. I can be there in 20 minutes.
That sounds good. Why don't you come in something nondescript? It will make sense when you get here.
Oh, okay. All right. I'll see you soon.
So he
I
hangs
love
up.
the look of disgust on Brittany's face when he said something nondescript. You were just like, "Ooh," like
Yeah.
She says, "Darling, the hobo car."
Okay, so I think she will dress in black leather pants and stilettos, and just like a black sweater with some lace inset.
Okay. So stylish, stylish and in vogue for those trying to be
I mean, she
nondescript.
doesn't have anything like nondescript in her closet, so
It's all designer at this point.
this is the best she can do.
Yeah. Okay.
I mean, if it's not like, I mean, there was
it's
that
not
one
like
time,
Zoolander trying to sneak around. So
there was
I mean,
there was that one time when she went to the LARP, but that was a costume.
sort of.
And by costume, I mean it was like jeans and a t-shirt.
Right.
Yeah.
So
Okay.
so are you hopping in your Tesla or are you going to take the truck?
I will probably tell Colin and see if he thinks that he needs to come with me.
Oh, okay. I mean, he's puttering around the house at this point, just working on some odd jobs in the garage. So, I mean, you open up the door, and he's putting away the welding tool at this point. Doesn't have his shirt on, his jeans and boots. That was just for George.
Yeah.
I thought it was for Sophie.
Yeah, I think we're up to 16 abs now.
Yeah.
Okay, so she'll poke her head in and just say, "Hey, I've got to go meet with the marshal, and I don't know what it's about."
That doesn't sound good.
Yeah.
Did you need me to come with, or what's going on?
I mean, obviously, I don't know. He said to be nondescript.
So that's definitely bad.
Maybe be on standby.
Okay. Sure. Has anybody else talked to you?
No, actually, maybe I should ask the others.
Okay. Because I mean, maybe it's a scoop, like he's trying to give you a heads up on something. I don't know.
You haven't heard anything, have you? Check the news?
No, I've been doing this. I've been trying to play catch up. Sorry.
Okay.
You could maybe ask your son.
You mean Cuddles?
Yeah.
Does he read the news?
Babe, he's got a phone. Is that really so far out of the tool shed, or
pride himself on being well informed. Okay. I'll be back.
Okay. And babe, is this nondescript, or did you mean to go like a beatnik?
That's such a vague word.
Okay. Should I bring like an overly large coffee cup?
To a club?
Oh, it's at a club. Okay. Yeah. So I'm not gonna do that. That's gonna make me look like an alkie. Why don't you go check in with your son, and I'll go get dressed.
Okay. So she will go find the cat.
Okay. So at this point, as you kind of peek around, he's not in the usual spots, and he's actually on Doug's computer. Doug, of course, is not here, and he's looking. He occasionally takes his paw and he'll hit something on the keyboard, and then he just paws the mouse around a little bit.
She will pause and take a picture, just because it's so ridiculously cute.
So he hears the click and he turns around, he looks alarmed, and he says, "Mother, please do not post that to Icon has cheeseburger."
Oh, am I that predictable?
That would be embarrassing, and I haven't done anything to warrant such scorn.
Everyone loves Icon has cheeseburger.
Except me.
It's an internet
I understand
staple.
what it is.
Anyway, this is not important.
Okay.
What are you doing?
Oh, I was looking at real estate.
Of course. I have to go meet with the marshal, and he wouldn't say what it's about. Have you noticed anything in the news?
No, but I did see your sweeper sneaking about the other night.
Isn't that his thing?
He seemed more concerned than skulking. I believe, the woman in need of a tracheotomy, is missing. I don't recall her name offhand.
Oh, the pawn shop lady.
Yes. Perhaps it has something to do with that?
Well, that's not good. Okay. What real estate are you looking for?
Oh, I'm just looking. Oh, I'm not looking to buy, of course. I'm just looking around. There's wonderful pictures.
Of course.
Maybe getting an idea for the backyard.
All right. I will leave you to it.
Oh, and since you're here, Mummy, would it be too difficult if we installed a birdhouse?
Probably not.
You sound a bit skeptical.
Um,
Are we broke?
No, it's just an unusual request or a very usual one. I can't decide.
Oh, of course. No. This is for. I believe I introduced you to them. You know the two pigeons who show up in the backyard in the trees every so often.
Oh, your posse.
Well, most of them cannot fit in the birdhouse, but this is for them.
I see. Oh, okay.
It's so they're closer on hand in case I need them.
Of course. Sure, I'm sure we can manage a birdhouse. You know what? Why don't you just find one that you like that is a reasonable price, and we'll put it together.
Oh, okay. Well, then I'll go shopping on Petco.
Excellent.
You're so wonderful, Mommy. Thank you very much.
And she will kiss him on the head and then exit.
Okay, so as you do that, then he reaches up and paws, so you get down further, and he nuzzles your face, like, with his head, just like purrs into you, sort of thing. As cats are wont to do.
I see. Yes. So then, as she's exiting the room, she will call Ben.
Okay.
Okay.
So Ben,
Yeah.
this is the next night at this point. You are waking up
Right.
to your phone repeatedly saying beefy. Beefy.
There it goes.
Beefy.
Yeah, so it begins. Okay. All right. So he gets his phone.
Lily's snoring.
All right. He stands up and he heads out so he doesn't wake up Lily because the door behind himself. Answers the phone. Hey, how's it going?
Hey, hope I didn't wake you. I got a call from the marshal wanting to meet, and he wouldn't say what it's about. But I heard that your ghoul is missing. Do you think is there something going on with that?
Okay. There's a couple of things going on. Yeah, so sorry I haven't been able to reach you. First off, probably I'm guessing what the marshal wants to talk to you about. Yeah. So something happened at the tomb, Lily's place.
Wait, that's where he wanted to meet me. Is she okay?
Okay. No, yeah, I know exactly what he's wanting to talk to you about. So, rest assured, we've handled a good amount of what happened. Here's what went down. First off, you're right about my ghoul, Shannon. She's on the lark. Can't find her. I'm having Mr. Vidius, that Nosferatu we haven't met, but except through text. He's going to use his people, his animals he controls, to go looking for her. And actually, Revis and I found a few phone numbers. We got to run those to see who she talked to. But anyway, that was that. The other thing that's really going on, which is surely what he's going to talk to you about, because of the Cindy thing when we were exchanging. We have Cindy back, by the way. Don't know if anybody
good.
let you know about that. Yeah, she's worse for wear, but she's gonna have appointments with Dr. Prester.
And you made the transfer okay?
We did. We got all that taken care of. So when we were trying to get the replacement mule that they wanted, Lily was trying to make one of her herd do that, and they didn't want to, I guess. And things got rough at her club, and so she bit him, and she drank a bit too much.
Oh, okay.
And then
how much too much?
So we're getting there. We're getting there. She took the person in a car, an Uber, over to Anzio's. I met her there because she needed to know what was going on.
In an Uber?
In an Uber. Mm-hmm. Got to Anzio's.
To the hospital.
Not to the hospital. Nope.
Okay.
And then got to Anzio's and met in the back, so we didn't go through the restaurant.
Thank God for that.
Yeah. And I'm not like medically trained. I really should learn some of that, I guess. But well, couldn't tell what was going on with her. And we went ahead and made an anonymous call, get an ambulance. I was there to act like I stumbled on her in the back. We propped her up. And turns out she died. Yeah, too much was taken.
That's going to look really suspicious.
Yeah, smooth things over as much as I could with the police that came, take a take some testimony, the EMTs that were there. So nothing's coming back immediately from that. But I mean, forensics, how did she suddenly lose blood when there's no injury? And if the marshal's looking hard into that, sounds like he did. That, maybe an issue.
We really ought to get somebody in the morgue.
We need people everywhere. I hate saying this, but the snake is right. He's painfully right that we need more control just everywhere, because this is just going to keep happening. It's what the CAM does, and it's why they got a lock on their cities, and nobody can oust them except the Sabbat when they just invade or something.
Sabbat doesn't care about that stuff.
Yeah, right. I hear you. And I'm just saying, like, that's how that's done, and I hate admitting it, but we need to do the same thing, at least to a degree, because we're going to start pissing off more and more of our allies. Like, we owe this guy already.
Yeah. Okay. If this ever happens again, I would really like to be informed sooner than later. I know I'm not always the most accessible, but it looks pretty bad when I'm taken by surprise about all this stuff.
Yeah, that's clearly my bad. I apologize for that. Next time I'll definitely send you a message at the very least the moment I can. It's just trying to put out fires,
Maybe we ought to. Oh yeah, go ahead.
Oh, I'm just saying that I'm supposed to be the sweeper, but I people keep coming in, and it's not like I know everybody. Like I have people everywhere. I don't, because I've got other things I'm trying to fix and take care of. And
yeah, that's not exactly fair to you either. I think maybe we ought to call a meeting. I'll go meet with the marshal and see what he has to say, but then we ought to have a meeting with everyone. Maybe we can discuss better ways to handle this sort of thing. And now that we've got a lot more activity in the city, I think we need to figure out how to divide up responsibilities. It's not fair to you to have all that just resting on your shoulders, and people are slipping through the cracks. And so we've got to do something different.
Appreciate that. And yeah, I agree. Well, good luck with your meet. Let us know when you want to meet up wherever. Maybe not at Anzio's.
Yeah, that's another thing I think we need to figure out. Another location that's maybe a little bit less public.
Yeah, you're probably right.
Or at least a little bit better hidden. You know what? Maybe we can get the back room at the Drachenflügel for tonight, and then we can discuss the rest. Would you mind putting in a call and seeing if we can meet up there?
Yeah, sure. I'll ask Trudy, see if she's got room for us.
Maybe in an hour.
Sounds good. If something changes or you need anybody, let us know, of course.
All right. Thanks, Ben.
Sure thing.
Okay. So you see Cuddles just kind of watching you as you hang up the phone, tilts his head. It's bad, isn't it, Mommy?
It's bad. It's been a while since we've had something like this, so Yeah, well, at least I can't expect that from you.
Oh, heavens no. It's not like anybody else understands me unless they have the ability to speak with fair whispers. And at that point, it would already be a masquerade breach anyways.
All right. Well, take care of the house.
He gives you a salute. Rightio, mummy. Best of luck.
And I will just briefly explain to Colin what this seems to be about and let him decide whether or not it sounds like he probably doesn't need to come. Unless
I mean, he tells you, shoot him a text or something if it looks like he needs to be there. They've got he's got the other vehicle. Obviously, he can be there in no time flat if necessary.
Okay. I guess I'll take his truck.
Okay. So you head on down across town, actually really across town, where the tomb is at. It's at the southern part of town. And for those of you watching, let me go ahead and throw that back out there real fast. Oops.
Well, maybe I ought to have told him 30 minutes.
Doink. You can, of course, find the map with all these locations on it on our website. So, as you head down to where the tomb is at, you've been here before, not often, but you've been here before. It's currently taped off with the police yellow tape. They've got a police car still out there at this point. Lights obviously aren't flashing, but they're basically monitoring the location.
I need a character sheet.
That would probably help.
I knew I was forgetting something.
In LARP, when they don't have their character sheet, it's called relenting to all challenges.
Oh no!
Yep.
So if you would like to do that, we can
Nope.
do that.
Nope. I'm good. I brought it.
That is probably the only way to be worse than your current rolling.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Appreciate that.
You're welcome.
That would be a good time to use that beer, 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 like air horn sound.
Actually, I'll just do this one. I'll do some Stephen He.
Failure.
Failure. So, as you get there, it's more near an industrial park, so you can see the vehicle that the Marshal Service is using. It is marked on the side and everything, and he happens to be just leaning against the car at this point. So as you pull up, it's at night. It's still sort of nondescript. He's parked away from the club. He's not at it directly. And as he sees you pulling up, he motions you forward from wherever it is you decide to park.
I will go over to meet him.
Okay. He says, "I appreciate your attentiveness to this matter. Do you know what a red flag is?"
Not in this context.
Okay, so he points right down the street, and he points to the club, and he says, "That is what we'd like to call a red flag."
Okay. You're talking about the bigger picture, I presume?
Of course. Now, do you know what happened here, or should I get you up to speed?
I've just been briefed, but I wouldn't mind further details.
Okay.
Do you know how many people witnessed the incident?
In the club, Ashland PD interviewed 15.
Okay.
That's not including the staff, which the staff, from what I understand, of course, I'm not prying, but from what I understand, the staff is telling a different story. Do you see how this is developing into a red flag?
Mm-hmm.
You know what else is a red flag? A corpse with over half of its blood missing with no medical reason why.
Okay.
Do you know what else is a red flag?
Please go on.
You know how you like to use angios?
Yes.
Right. Said body was brought to angios by public transportation, making that witness number 16, and dropped off. Angios, I don't think I need to reiterate the significance it is to you, what that restaurant means. Now imagine what that's going to suddenly look like, a corpse with over half of its bodily fluid missing, and that's a place that you frequent and feed from.
Okay.
Do you see where this is going?
I do. Yes. What else do we got?
You have 1, maybe 2 if you're lucky, days before this goes up to federal.
What can we do?
Well, 1, find out a way of doing something about it. I don't want to know, but what I will advise is don't use your Jedi mind trick to magically make it go away. There are eyes there are eyes that are going to be on this that are looking to pounce for some reason, and I think you can imagine why.
Okay, so no memory wipes.
Nothing obvious. I mean, if other people start going missing, we're continuing the analogy of the red flag.
Sure.
Personally, I'm more of a Danger Will Robinson kind of guy myself.
Danger, Will Robinson.
Okay.
But I find this a little bit more. This is shorter and to the point.
So if and when it does go up the chain, what do we have to expect?
FBI and ATF.
A repeat of what we had previously?
Precisely. And I don't think I need to explain to you just how eager some of them would be to rediscover your kind here.
I'm guessing this wouldn't look good on you either.
Not necessarily, because I'm not tied to you officially. So this is a friendly warning that if you don't clean this up, we're legally obliged to follow up with the ATF and FBI.
So you're not directly responsible for eradicating activity like this?
It depends. I'm not at liberty to go into the minutia of that. But let's just say there's enough federal agencies to say that it is murky.
Okay. Well, we can work that out. What else do I need to know?
That's about it. I hope that the rest of your extended family has some way of cleaning this up, because your girl that owned this club is burned. So whatever you do, you need to keep that in mind. And I would appreciate it if you do manage to clean it up correctly, because all of you still owe me. So I have a vested interest in you coming
Collecting.
out So yeah, you coming out the other side of this somehow.
Okay. I appreciate the candidness. I don't suppose you could get me a list of the witnesses, could you?
They could disappear.
I could see about that.
On my promise that they will not be harmed or disappeared.
Dang it.
Well, what you do is entirely up to you. Just know that you've already kicked the hornet's nest. So if they somehow turn up unalive, that's on you.
Okay. I will shake his hand.
And he says, off the record, and he kind of fidgets with his hat a little bit. You wouldn't happen to know anything about the Valle Picaro cartel coming into quite a bit of money recently?
Not directly. Is that group under your purview as well?
Well, they do tend to cross state lines.
Well, I don't know any specifics on that one.
And I have your word on that.
I am not responsible for the Picaro gang.
See, we were having a great conversation up until you kept it kind of vague right there, which leads me to believe you did have something to do with that.
You know what? I'm going to have to talk to my people if you need more details.
Now let's save it for right now. One thing at a time.
Okay.
So he tips his hat. Good night, Miss Laura. Climbs back into his car.
And Sophie will get back into the truck and head over to the Dragonflugel.
Okay. So all of you have received messages at this point from Ben, letting you know that, like a 911 or 911, I should say, there's a meeting that we're going to have, new location, need to get everybody together for important discussion, however he ends up wording it or whatnot. Damaris and Dahlia, when you guys wake for the evening at this point, your phone, Damaris, has a message left on it, like a phone message, letting you know that Anzio's has been closed, pending pending an investigation by the Food and Drug Administration.
Oh no. Great. Because would I have known about the body they decided to bring over there?
That was the next text message that was put on there.
Okay.
That briefly explained that he thought it might have been taken care of, but somebody brought a corpse sickle out back. Paramedics had to be called. The police ended up being called. It didn't happen here, so he didn't think it was going to be that big of a deal. But now the Food and Drug Administration are sniffing around, the FDA.
Well, I mean, okay. As far as I know, we're up to code. But I am not happy about that. It's their fault. Whoever brought the body over. Okay. So, I'll, find Dahlia and let her know that Anzio's is being shut down currently because there is an investigation because of the body that ended up there. from their father. Screw up.
Well, that can't be good. At all.
It's not. Of course, we've got nothing to hide. I'm sure we'll, pass health standards and whatever, but it's a problem. It causes attention to the restaurant, which is bad. So
Bad for business.
Bad for business. It's bad for us, which means that we can't meet there anymore right now.
Probably would be wise to find a less public location.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway.
So then you hear booming from the other room in here. Oh, but you could always ask your boyfriend.
Shut up, Talis.
Doesn't he own a Mexican restaurant?
Who's your
Yes.
boyfriend?
Yes.
Okay. I mean, whatever floats your boat, but I mean, why would we? Why there?
Why would we meet at another restaurant, Talis? That is still just as public.
Wait, who's your boyfriend?
You could close it off for a private gathering. Wouldn't you?
Well, yeah, but it's kind of short notice. Is a 911 meeting.
Oh, well, I wasn't aware of any sort of electronic devices communicating with you. I am only a book, after all.
Is your boyfriend your ghoul? Like, can't you just tell him to close it off?
Oh, no! He happens to be a Cain Knight. Oh. A Cain.
Are you gonna let me talk?
Why are you
Talis?
coughing? You're a book.
He has an attitude. Don't you, Talis?
I have a distinguished attitude. Thank you very much.
Okay.
Okay. Well, I don't know where they want us to meet at tonight. What did they put in the message where they wanted us to meet?
Yes.
Yeah, with the address.
Okay. Well, tonight we're meeting here, but I am interested in this place that your boyfriend owns. So
it's by the airport.
Okay. Well, we should probably get going then. I need to find out what happened with this because now my place of business and my income is at risk.
Yeah. That is not good.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
You've placed too many eggs in the same basket, Damaris. You must diversify.
The hell? You mean too many eggs in the same basket?
I think he means you shouldn't just put all your money in the restaurant. You should spread it out.
But that is like a main source. Well, a source. But you're right, Talis. You're right.
Thank you.
We gotta go though.
Oh my goodness, he said thank you.
It's because it's cool like that. With me. No offense.
With you. Yes. Okay.
She is not nearly as sassafras as you are.
Sassafras.
Wow.
I'll pick him up and grab him with. Actually, you know what? Sorry, Talis, you're staying here tonight.
No, very well. Would you do me a favor and put on the Netflix or something? Oh, no.
Sure.
No. I would like to mock the audiobooks that that Dahlia has got me.
Which audiobooks?
Oh, they're on a playlist near my nightstand. Would you be a dear and start just hit play?
I will walk over and hit play.
Okay.
Do you
need to get him an Alexa?
So is this like on like audio, like an app or something?
Yeah.
I'm just curious.
Yeah.
When we leave out of ear presence with him, I'm gonna tell her to put on some sort of smutty romance novel in the mix.
I definitely do that.
And a weird one at that, just because.
Okay.
Keep him entertained.
Or not entertained.
Okay, so all of
Okay.
you at this point, at some point or another, have gone to the Drachenflugel. Remus, we haven't had you for the past couple of games. Your peeps are back. You haven't gotten a new place yet, but your peeps are at the group haven at this point. So when you have an opportunity, obviously you can invest or get a new haven if that's what you're doing. But I want to let you know that much has been updated.
Okay. Yeah, I've been tending to them and
Yes.
yeah, desperately looking at real estate to find a new haven.
Sure. And I take, is Jeeves driving you, or are you good to take yourself?
I'll drive myself. I want to let them rest as much as possible.
Okay. Are you taking the creamsicle or the excursion van?
I'll take the van
Okay.
because 911 tells me that there's probably going to be trouble.
Okay. Oh, and speaking of which, you have started putting a tab up on the fridge, making sure that if anybody takes blood now from the fridge, they mark it. They basically have to write their name and basically sign and date it.
Okay. And
It's basically gotten to the point. It's like people aren't refilling the ice trays, sort of thing. So you're like, forget this. If people keep taking my stuff, at least own it.
Yeah.
Oh my God, you should put a debit card swipe machine or something on it.
I really
have to
should.
pay for it,
I
like
should,
a vending machine.
Because because it's not even like, oh, it's just water. Like this is like this specialty blood that I can only drink. So you guys have been drinking my Dom Perignon with your cereal, and so I'm like sitting over here. I'm like, I've got nothing to eat. And you're like, oh, why don't you go eat a hobo?
That's like putting skim milk in your cereal. It just doesn't work.
Yeah. And that's
That's
another
funny.
reason.
Okay.
That's another reason why we're trying to get a new place.
Yeah. So you're driving van life to show up at this club. For those of you who don't know, the Drachenflugel had previously been a church at one point in time. So the exterior looks like a type of maybe like a Lutheran or Catholic style cathedral church, but the inside all club. The bouncer, there's always a line of people trying to get in, but when the bouncer sees that, respectively, as you guys are showing up, you're just waved in. There, the inside, obviously, it's booming. It's pretty busy in here at any given time. It does have a similar menu as Anzio's in that sense, the allergen-free. And as you've been advised in the text, that there is a meeting in the back room. So all you have to do is just walk to the very back of the club itself. A bouncer or security, will wave you back and just into a private meeting room.
Okay. I'd like to order a drink if they have something I can.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And I'll tip really well.
Okay.
Revis just walks right back and doesn't sit down. He's going to go to the right side of the door, which would be the blind side, and take about 10 feet back from that and lean up against the wall.
Okay.
Ben's also going to order a drink.
Okay.
And just make sure he heads to the back room.
All righty.
I repeat that.
So all of you can refresh by a blood point. For those of you who want it.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Damaris eventually shows up. She kind of stomps in a little bit. She can tell. You guys can tell if you look at her. She's got a bit of a sour face going on. She's not happy about her club or about her restaurant being shut down.
There's no crying in baseball.
Their flames seem a tad tense.
Oh, you think?
I do.
If your restaurant got shut down because a body got taken there and is now being investigated by the health administration, I think
What?
he'd be a little pissed too.
Wait, what's going on?
Yeah. All right. We got everybody here.
It's a mess.
Yeah,
It's a
at this
mess.
point, Sophie would eventually show up too. Probably
Jerome?
one of the last. Yes?
Jerome, would Lily know about what's going down at the tomb from her ghouls?
You would at this point, yeah.
Okay.
I would just have Robert order me an Uber to get there.
Sure. He will do that. He lets you know that he's going back to the White Dynasty.
Right. It's good.
He's doing what you want him to do. He's trying to scout out high rollers.
So what's going on at Anzio's? A body was brought there?
Yeah, a half-drunk body was brought there, and yeah, now I'm being investigated by the health administration because, hello, it's unsanitary to find a body in your restaurant.
You mean
but yeah.
Hold
around, near, whatever term you want to pick.
Hold on.
It was there.
When you say half drunk,
Meaning half drained.
so no blood in the back of the restaurant where
They died at my restaurant.
You mean the restaurant where we keep all of the blood that we drink, that we have people meet at all the time?
Yeah.
The very same.
Yeah, the very same.
Everyone, we need to talk. Everyone, just have a seat.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to do some major cleanup before this. My restaurant is permanently closed, and
I think that's the last. Like, I mean, that's terrible that Anzio's would close, but like, this is if they find blood inside of the restaurant, like, what is to stop them from bringing people in? Because then that's proof that we exist.
I think that's definitely an action item. But let's start from the beginning.
It was not me.
Fatality.
I have been very good. I've been working very hard. I have been making the letter work, and I've been not using anything risque or unique. So it was not me.
I give Henri an Henri snack for being good.
All right.
Right, Ruby.
So
Revis speaks up.
Oh, go ahead.
Revis goes, Baroness, do you let your citizenry know what traditions are being upheld in your domain?
I'm not sure it's ever really come up. So I suppose that's another topic that we ought to address.
I'm sure it's one that we're going to hear about.
Does this have to do with
based
the body?
on the decisions that we're going to have to make really soon?
Okay. So we have the immediate problem, and then we have the long-term problem. Let's just talk about the immediate problem first, which, by the way, Sophie would have made sure the door was closed and that they were not to be disturbed.
You would, Sophie, if you're giving that order, these are the Giovanni regulars that are out here. So the only people that are back here are the ones that would be in the know to know that.
That's true. Okay.
You guys aren't going to, like, nobody's going to just waltz in and be like, I belong here, sort of thing. No.
I suppose it goes without saying.
Yeah. No, I'm just letting you know. I mean, you can still say it, but you've been here enough to recognize some of the faces as the Giovanni regulars. So they're the ones that are aware of your kind and treat everything with much more, with kid gloves and masquerade and that sort of thing.
Okay, so I don't want to be accusatory. Honestly, who among us has not had a bad night and slipped up and made some mistakes?
Maple.
I have no
No,
idea
we
what
all
that's
have,
like.
but this is pretty big.
This just happens to be a very public one. I found out about it from Ben, but initially from Marshall Daughtry. And that
Oh.
cannot
God.
happen. I have been informed in no uncertain terms that we have a couple of days between cleaning this up and the feds coming to look for us directly, because there are, as he put it, red flags all over the place now. I think I asked him for a list of witnesses. We'll see if somebody can massage their memories a little, make it a little bit more vague or palatable. I don't have that ability, but if any of you do, I
What
would
ability is that?
It's a,
dominate.
Dominate.
I can do it, but what? Hold on, 15 witnesses?
Well, 16, including the Uber driver.
Uber driver? Hold on. What exactly happened? Like,
Yeah, I feel like
Can
we're
we get
missing
the
some
whole
information.
story?
Right.
I know the end result, but
Why don't we,
I don't know
in
what
the
happened
spirit-
before that.
In the spirit of helping each other and running a unified city, let's start at the beginning.
Revis just kind of looks over at Ben, goes,
Yeah. All right. So, first off, for those of you who are aware, we managed to successfully trade some things to get Cindy back. That's strangely kind of where this came in, because one of the things we had to do to get her back was replace their mule, their drug mule.
Wait.
So,
who's drug mule?
yeah, you haven't been around in a bit.
Mm-hmm.
So let's see, to explain that, the Valle Picaro drug cartel is in cahoots with the Sanguine Tears gang that's here and a lot in Medford. They've been running some operations for a bit. They've got drugs coming in, and they've apparently got mules. If you don't know what that is, it's a means of getting drugs in a clandestine manner from one spot to another. They're not caught. You get to sell it, make a lot of money. That's why the trade exists. Anyway, turns out that Cindy's body, the Kara Buchanan body, well, she was one of the mules, and we didn't know. So the leader of the Sanguine Tears, Julieta Chicote, she was cracking down on the mules that were working for him. Got to Cindy. She didn't know what was going on. They kidnapped her. We figured out what was going on. Long story short there, we made an exchange to get her back because, well, they didn't realize what was going on. They thought she was just holding out or something. They didn't know the whole spiel, and we didn't let them know. So we exchanged $1 million in cash, well, in precious gems that we had. And a replacement for the drug mule, because obviously Cindy wasn't going to do that. So,
Wait. So you gave them $1 million of the money that was owed to the Camarilla to get Cindy back? So now we're down $1 million in gems?
correct. So,
if she could pop a blood vessel, she would. Be right here.
in trying to get the replacement drug mule. Lily was going to have one of her herd try this out. There was an altercation in the tomb. Apparently it was fairly public. She bit, drained a little too much, closed the wound. Apparently she fell unconscious right then and there. Met up with her and the girl, because I didn't know how bad the girl was in it. And met up behind Anzio's, didn't go through the main entrance or anything. I couldn't tell. I should have been able to, but I haven't done that in a long time.
Unfortunately, the security cameras back there are going to pick that up too, if they haven't already.
Well, anyway, we called in an emergency to 911. We called an ambulance, but anonymously set her up there because trying to move her, move a body, or we were hoping she was still alive. Couldn't tell, but yeah, they confirmed when the EMTs and the cops got there that she passed away. I did what I could to smooth over those who were there, so nothing was out of the ordinary when they were doing everything there, and they left. Everything was hunky-dory as far as those at the scene were concerned. But at the tomb, yeah, who knows? The Uber driver doesn't seem like they were fully in the know, but yeah, they're obviously a witness. There you have it.
Revis interjects at this point. If I may add a few illuminating comments to this discussion. I spoke to Lily when I learned what had happened. I discovered two interesting facts. One, she had no idea what was too much blood. Two, no one had ever told her it was possible to kill a mortal this way.
Wait, really?
Really. She thought if she took 50% of blood, the mortal would be okay. So there are several related issues here. One, depending on where she comes from, is the accounting in releasing a childer who does not have the proper training.
Mm-hmm.
The other is the breach. But depending on what we discover, and it has to be quick, and the Baroness is going to have to make a judgment call here. It's probably going to be considered a not quite major breach, which means there are penalties, at least as far as a Camarillo will be concerned. What the Baroness does, you all got to remember, too many eyes are looking at this. She has to make an example. She has to. And everyone has to.
What would you suggest? What kind of example are you requesting?
I'm not requesting anything. I'm making a statement, and the Baroness knows I'm right.
We can talk about that.
Yeah.
This is a major, probably just short of a major breach. And you guys have made agreements on this with other people. They are looking and expect some type of accounting that will be acceptable to them.
Yeah.
Not to you, to them. Because if it's not acceptable to them, they will make their own actions, and you can count on it.
Yeah, well, I think that's a tomorrow problem. I think the tonight problem is how do we keep this, what you call a minor breach, from becoming a major one discovered by
That's the cleanup, I feel like. This is the whole cleanup of that whole incident that has caused so much problems.
I have a few suggestions. First of all, I apologize for my typing. I thought I was muted. So
that's fine.
Okay. In the short term, I hate to suggest it. I know it's going to be a bit of upheaval, but I think we need to completely change the places that we have been meeting, including Anzio's. I think it would be advisable to scrub it, move the blood, do not offer.
Oh, I'm already on it. Like as soon as I found out when I rose this morning, like I'm already there because at this point it's shut down. Nobody's going to be meeting there anytime soon.
Right.
And if
Anzio's is going to be off limits.
it is, I don't know how much blood is left. I'll have to double check, but frankly, I might just end up drinking it.
That is,
I may just go run around until I'm almost empty and then just go in there and just drink it so there's no traces.
But I don't think there's a problem of moving it to some other secure location.
Well, it's under surveillance.
It's under surveillance and being investigated by the FDA.
That's true. We would have to.
Jerome, I'm sorry, real quick. I have a question. Did I ever, and I don't remember, was there a basement level to Anzio's at all where there would be like a back exit somewhere?
No. The only back exits are the actual like back exit that goes out into the hallway, or not the hallway, but the alleyway.
Got it.
And then of course like the fire escape from the second floor.
So if we get in there to remove the evidence, it'd have to be very, very, very discreet. Yeah. Okay. Got it.
Oh, I was going to suggest you could just obfuscate, but I guess you can't.
No.
If someone wants to teach me more than one level, sure.
Well, but I mean, it would still show on cameras.
It would still show, yes.
Yes, it is. So if there is not going to be as a camera is there, that's as easy. I can bring a group with me, and we can. So is there?
I think it would be suspicious to bring to shut the cameras off because I have a system, obviously, that is sort of a constant record. If I shut that off, I feel like they would see that as suspicious. The health guys that are going in there.
You might just move it a little bit at a time so that it looks natural.
Incremental.
Yeah,
there
just
you go.
Bring in a satchel.
Actually,
bring it out.
I can. I just recently learned this, and Drum, I'll send you these XP spins about Animalism 3, where I can actually go into an animal. I can just I can go into a bird or something and have them just sort of peck at it to where it's been moved.
Actually,
you can if you have animal changing. Sorry to interrupt. Since you're not a gangrel, which that's protean, you could only change into a bat or a wolf.
Oh, sorry. Okay, a bat is totally fine. Wait, that's protean?
Yes.
Oh, never mind then. I'm sorry. I have animalism, but animalism lets me actually talk to them and have them do that, right?
Summon them, yeah.
Yeah, so I can summon them and have them. I say, "Hey, go," and I'll point to the camera. Basically, I can do where I can control a bird and say, "Hey, tap this camera around." That would be less suspicious than randomly moving it. Be like it's nature, so to speak.
Our new friend Sansa has some kind of a spell that can move things from one place to another.
Do you want to have her move a camera? Like
the blood. The blood.
Oh, sorry, Rachel didn't realize that.
The blood or the cooler or whatever.
Blood. I mean, if she's willing to come in here, then yeah, that's fine. If it's an easy cleanup. But it would be. I mean, so maybe a combo of moving the cameras up to where. Well, she might need to be hidden to get in some form. But yeah, that could work.
I can bring Sansa in with me. I can obfuscate myself, and I can obfuscate her with me. We can walk in if you are walking in. It opens the doors for us, and Sansa and I can walk in with you. Once we enter, she can do her bippity boppity boo, and make the blood go somewhere else. And then when it is time to leave, we can hold the door open for us, and I will have us leave together.
Okay. So we'd have to make sure to try to move the cameras first, though, so it doesn't really witness.
What are you going to do about the witnesses, which would be a bigger concern?
Well, there's multiple concerns, and we're addressing this one, but yes, we do need to consider the witnesses too.
What did the witnesses actually see? What are they reporting?
As I understand, there are witnesses at the club.
You're back, sorry.
There's the staff of the club, which are, he said the concern is that they have a different story. And then the Uber driver, and then I guess anyone that found the body, like paramedics or whatever, at Anzio's.
Do we know what the stories are though? Like it's kind of hard to fix a story if we don't know what the story is.
Have they already talked to the police?
I believe so.
So what good is changing their story going to be now?
It makes it unreliable.
Well, or it's not even changing the story. For me, it's knowing what the story is. That they see a very attractive woman attacking someone's neck and sucking blood off of them, and there was blood everywhere. And then they saw him. She removed her eyeballs, and then I mean, what did they see? That's what I'm asking.
And Ben turns to Lily. Hey, babe, what would they have seen?
They would have seen me go in and like I was nuzzling her neck. And then after I was done, I kissed her like we were making out, and I was trying to calm her down. She was having a fit. So I tried to make it look more like a lover's spat. But I didn't like bare my fangs in front of everybody and bite down.
Okay. But you did this in the open? You didn't do it in a back room?
I didn't have a chance to do it in the back room. She was running.
Where did this happen in the club?
By the front door.
Okay, pretty visible then.
So if the stories don't match, what is the difference of the stories?
Well, the staff is under my control.
But what is the difference? I don't. Maybe I'm not saying it right in English. I'm trying to say.
What did you ask?
What was the story? Like, what did they say? Is that
we don't?
I didn't ask.
We don't know. Jerome didn't specify what they said.
I didn't ask them to say anything.
So the staff covered it up on their own because they are in the know, but we still have 15 witnesses who all are having the same story about I'm assuming these stories all line up. Even if we do go in and change up like the stories, like that's going to be really suspicious too when 15 people's identical story all suddenly change to random things.
So we can't change that story.
I don't know if we
spin it.
I don't know.
Well, I don't even know what their story would be for the simple fact there's no way anybody saw my fangs.
That is what
well,
I'm
they don't have to see your fangs. They saw you, and then you pulled away, and
did anyone
she fell to the floor.
And I made it off that she had too much to drink.
Had she been drinking?
Yes.
Did people witness her drinking?
I would think so.
Maybe you should try saying that she's anemic. That she has a blood disease that was undiagnosed.
Could maybe the one story that needs to be altered is the Uber driver. If everyone saw her sick, anemic, or however she is sick, and when she gets into the car, if that is the one story that is damning, then that is the one story that needs to be altered.
But then we have the issue of the paramedics who found a body missing half of its blood with no visible wounds.
So insert serial killer. We can blame the person on we can blame it on the mysterious serial killer. I don't know how to.
Maybe she's just anemic.
That's what he was saying.
But anemia doesn't make you lose half of your blood, though. The paramedic, like even if that's the story we go with as terms of like why this person passed out, like there's still the issue of the medical professionals who discovered a body missing half of its blood.
there are people whose blood doesn't clot. I don't know if
But
we
then they
could.
would have found the blood elsewhere, or they would have found exit wounds.
And her medical history. She doesn't have a history of anemia or, stuff like that,
If we
Um,
had somebody in the medical examiner's office who could doctor records or make records go missing, that would be extremely helpful.
Well, it would be nice if we had somebody in the morgue, and I've said this before, that we need some influence in the morgue and we need some influence in the police department.
I mean, all those things would be great, but it would also be great if we didn't attack people in public.
It's not that I planned this, it happened.
Sophie, you know that the Giovanni actually do have somebody in the morgue.
They do still?
Mm-hmm.
I know they used to. Okay, so then if we're going to regularly depend on Giovanni resources, maybe we ought to make some official deal with them.
It's my mess, so I will give them a major boon.
Well, there's this incident certainly, but we also, I mean, they have the wolf who is their cleaner person.
Right.
And that's somebody whose services that we're definitely going to want to keep handy. So maybe we need some kind of a regular agreement. On the topic of the club, Lily, I think the marshal mentioned that your club is burned.
What is that supposed to mean?
It means that it is very suspiciously vampire associated. I think I know you've only had it for a couple of months, but I think it would probably behoove you to hire
Get
a
rid of it.
new owner that, like, put it under new management maybe, so that you are not directly connected to it.
I'm not directly connected to it anyways. I don't own it.
You don't?
No, my ghoul owns it.
Oh.
I have the manager, the owner, and she's also the manager and the bartender under my control.
Okay. That's better news than I expected. So then I think maybe you should make yourself scarce from there. Maybe while it's under investigation,
That's fine.
your people take some time off so that they are inaccessible to the feds.
That's a good idea.
Yeah, I'm sure that my bouncer and my bartender need a vacation.
Okay.
Maybe a couple of weeks.
Other thoughts besides figuring out what we can do about the witnesses, meeting at other locations that have nothing to do with our current meeting locations, which, by the way, I think we ought to make them much less public.
Mm-hmm.
So have we lost the train museum because of the fire?
Oh my gosh. I would believe so, yes. That
I thought that got rebuilt.
It did.
It did, but
I should leave it alone.
Whenever something strange happens at a place, we shouldn't be there anymore.
Right,
And
exactly.
I mean, yeah, we shouldn't be like amongst a bunch of people, because if something weird goes down, then we have to cover that up, and that's always a tough.
That was my fault, and I may have it's still public, but Carlos does own a restaurant
I
by
think
the
we should
airport.
stay away from restaurants.
Yeah.
Well, I have a
we should also
I think that what we need to do is we need to invest in a secluded
office
real
building.
estate.
What about the mountainside where
Well, it needs
we
to be-
found?
Go ahead.
Well, where we found the obsidian. I mean, that is. I mean, I feel like that's pretty out of the way. Nobody knows about it.
The
It's
place
secluded.
where
It's
Henri's old place was?
Where we
no.
found the
This
mirror.
he didn't use that.
I
Right?
was going. Yes, I was in the process of using it when we discovers the stone.
And he blew it up.
I mean, it's not like we can't excavate it, but I mean, I don't know. I feel like something like that.
That place is still obviously a former meeting or a former resting
Location.
place.
Do we want to have the location somewhere in town or outside of town in the boonies?
Well, it needs to be accessible to all of us. So maybe someplace in town, someplace out of town. I mean, we need more than one. If one is compromised, we need to have a backup location.
What about the recording studios?
Who owns those?
I do believe Miss Trudy does.
I really don't think we should be using. We're as much as we rely on the Giovanni.
She's not a Giovanni, though. She is a
she is-
Ventru.
She's affiliated with them, and I think that the more that we sully her with our bad reputation, I think we're going to run out of favors with her really quick.
Well, Trudy, as I understand it, is very much an anarch, but I think we ought to choose a location that doesn't see much traffic.
What about Bedford, where we first met Ben?
Medford
Was
belongs.
that Bedford?
It's someone else's territory.
Medford belongs to a different baron. So by out of town, I just mean.
Then we need an office building or something.
Right.
But it has to be someplace that would be not strange for people showing up at. I mean, if it's an office building at night, and suddenly 8 cars are showing up, that would.
I do work at a vineyard. I could potentially
The vineyard
work
that we
out
set on fire a few months ago.
work out that a building be put up.
I didn't set it
that
all
we
on
could
fire.
meet
Somewhere
at.
in town that we haven't set on fire before.
We're running out of places that we haven't destroyed.
I haven't been in town long enough to see. Are there any like Freemason lodges or like any like secret society type things? You know,
You know,
good old boys
I'm
clubs?
sure we could find something.
What does the Sedite say?
Well, there's let's see here. There's the Rogue Valley Metaphysical Library, which we could probably make arrangements at, which I'm considering acquiring. There's also the Epoch Geospatial Land Surveying Services, which are open around the clock and have lovely technicians that go around at all hours of the day doing surveys. And last but not least, my favorite at the moment
Trafficked is that area.
would be Litwiller's Simonson Funeral Home, which is the only funeral home in this city, oddly enough. And people going in and out of there at all hours of the night would not be strange at all.
That would be a good one for you to control, Henri.
The funeral homes are not all hours of the evening. It's they do have business hours. But I would love to own a funeral home. That'd be very nice.
Well, I'm sure
A lot of money goes through those places too.
I'm sure we could probably work something out. It's like I said, these are locations I've been scouting for a while, but
They're good. They're good ones.
I think the funeral home's a good idea.
For one of them.
I can tell you this: as far as disposing of a body, until we get the funeral home, Dahlia, our rats are eating very well,
Wonderful.
and it would be very easy to dismember and have the rats take over the bodies, and I can grind the bones, and I can make his body disappear very easily. Um, I mean, we don't want to get the Zabratoviches involved, but I mean that's a simple work. I would offer my home, but our track record, as you say, has not been very good.
Yeah, no, let's.
No, I think it needs to stay away from any of our personal businesses.
Bingo.
Yeah, I would not like to lose everything that I built.
I like the idea of the funeral home and the first one that.
You know what? Maybe all three. Maybe we could try them out, see how they feel, see if they meet our needs, see how the neighborhood feels as far as presence of other beings, humans, whatever.
Some of those would probably be more comfortable at the Metaphysical Institute than others, and probably would fit in really well. Those of us with a more educated bent, I'm sure there are people there that would be entranced having an interesting philosophical discussion on some of the esoteric philosophies.
Keep in mind also that whatever locations we choose are going to be the places that newcomers to town are going to come looking for us. So we don't really have control over who comes to us.
Well, a more traditional approach was generally to put the word out on the street among your citizens that newcomers should go to a certain location rather than, say, to accidentally wandering into an Elysium.
Exactly. I actually would agree with that. Similarly, in the Sabbat, I mean, there were symbols that if you had the certain knowledge or sight per se to see the right signs, it directed you where to find. Just like in the wait, I wasn't there. Out of character. Sansa was there. Sorry. But speaking from experience, there are signs that can be put up, and you know, obviously the Sabbat adapt or use this technique, but in that similar vein, yes, you probably want to spread word even through the newsletter. Actually, that might not be a bad resource.
Any decisions we make on new policies in the city, we
need to be published.
Post in the free.
So we should utilize that, since that's actually probably sounds like our best word of mouth, so to speak, for those that are connected to it.
In fact, we could just hand a list over to that newspaper lad, and he can post it for us.
Well, then we got to figure out what to post first.
Mm-hmm. We need to figure out a meeting place for them to meet Ben.
That would simplify his quote-unquote sweeper activities.
Yeah, funnel him to one spot.
It would easy. Definitely make your job easier.
We don't want to make them a target, though.
Well,
if you were to round back to the funeral home, they could be maybe making an appointment for a certain family name.
There you go.
So when they come in, I would need to make an appointment for this.
Yeah, like celebrities put their info under, you know, fictitious names for whoever may be arrived. Yeah, exactly, sure. Exactly.
So when this name is put in, at that point, they would call me or they would call Benjamin and say, we've just had a recent visitor that has booked an appointment to meet for this family member. And then Benjamin could come and meet with them at that point. And maybe even this metaphysical. Sorry, such a word.
Metaphysical.
So you could say when they come in, they have to some topic that is not very common. They want to come in and talk about the purple unicorn, and so whenever someone
Or how about a particular type of casket? You know,
oh, no,
just keep it in theme. I mean,
no, what I'm saying, or maybe, but
So does that mean that if we're going to use the funeral home, that someone is going to ghoul the director, or
sounds like it.
Henri?
I would, yes, I would be very much apt for ghouling the director.
Really?
I think that sounds great for you, Henri.
But I will have to tell you, I need, after my experience with Zachary, I need someone it's been quite some time. Zachary was an absolute failure. So I need someone to help me in the psychological wellness of someone, how to replace them.
What do you mean?
Henri, you don't, when you ghoul someone, you don't necessarily have to read them in 100%.
See, this is okay. So for decades, when I ghoul someone, I bring them in, and if they don't fit well, I drain them, and then they go to the next one. So
oh my gosh, that's why a lot of people actually stalk their ghouls first or observe them to make sure that they actually are okay before you decide to gank them and bring them over. Indeed. That might not be a bad idea to maybe vet them first before you turn them.
I have done this. I have probably at least a good maybe 50-50 ratio of the ghouls that I have made that have done well, and the rest are dust.
I mean, you control them. Why wouldn't they do what you tell them to do?
I mean, isn't that what got us into this issue tonight? Is that there was a ghoul who didn't want to do what, or no, it was a herd.
It wasn't a ghoul; it was a herd.
There is a difference.
Problem.
You're not controlling your herd; you just feed from them.
No, I don't do well with herd at all.
Out of character, Jerome. How much do herd members actually know?
Almost nothing.
So then what is their experience? What is their understanding of what's happening?
Some sort of kinky thing that they get involved with somebody that feeds from them.
Yeah. And Lily uses the thing that they're goss, and a lot of the goss kind of, they practice vampirism. So they will actually have like little vials of somebody's blood that they'll drink, or they will bloodlet each other. And so that's how Lily has gotten her herd.
Is that a real thing goths do?
It is.
Yeah, it's called sanguine.
There is some. Yes,
so
there is
gross.
some. Not all of them, because I don't. But there are some.
No, that's not what I heard. Vampirism. I heard every ghoul. No, I'm kidding. I'm joking. That is new information, though. Oh.
You didn't know about sanguine and Garth?
Oh, yeah.
I've never been.
They'll have like a little vial that's on a chain around their neck. It's looks like a red stone, but really it's blood.
So
I could see like, you have a vial of somebody else's blood, but like drinking another person's blood, like that.
They do that. Yep.
FYI, there are disclaimers in the player's handbook. About like, this is not real. You're not actually biting each other.
Anyhow.
Okay.
Revis would kind of look at the Frenchie and go, I'd be willing to explain some of the more acceptable SETI techniques to you about ghouls, if you were interested.
Everything that I know about ghouls, I have taught myself. It's been, yes, I would appreciate some. Yes.
I think you'd benefit from that, Henri.
Frankly, I would find that rather interesting myself, because my ghouling experiences have been awkward as well.
Not to change the subject, but because we're discussing ghouls, we do have a problem. We do have a missing ghoul.
Yeah, Shannon.
Right. Ben, why don't you tell us what you know about that?
Who is Shannon?
your girlfriend?
Oh no, she's not. No, she can stay away.
Well, but you know who she is now.
Yes, I know. I
Yeah.
know who you from.
Yeah,
We
I know you are not a thing, but I was just like, oh, this is how you would know her.
No, I know. I very much know because we
Yeah.
were there when we met her together. So it's
Yeah.
just if she is gone, it is too sweet. That's all right. But here,
Well, it's not toot sweet for me. I'll tell you that. Yeah. So she, from everything that gathered, Lily, Revis, and I have been looking into this a little bit, and all of a sudden, she just decided to up and leave. She left Forfeit here, her pawn shop. She put up the close sign, locked things up, got in her car, and took off. I've tried to contact her. She doesn't pick up. She doesn't respond.
Reeves just kind of looks at Ben and goes, "You left off the key part, Ben."
What is
Oh, I'm getting there.
strange is she left her spirit companion behind.
Exactly. Yeah.
And that's not normal for Shannon.
That sounds
Right.
strange.
Yeah.
So
So something's
she
going
took the phone
on.
call. She took a phone call 30 minutes before she left.
Yeah, we need to run that number.
So, Sophie, I was kind of hoping maybe if Ben took you to the pawn shop, maybe you could use your spirit sight.
Sure. I'd be happy to do that.
Damaris has her water bowl. She can use as well.
That's true.
Actually, yeah.
I'm looking for a ghoul now.
That's right. Shannon Krumbacher.
Have we finished with what we're doing about the breach?
I feel like we haven't sort of finalized that before we start looking for a ghoul. No offense.
Is there a way for us to find out what the can we get the testimonies from the people?
I would like to know what the story is.
I've just gotten a message from the marshal that the list of names has been delivered to my office. So if you like, I can zip down there and pick it up and come right back.
Because knowing what
actually, maybe I can have somebody pick it up for me.
It's a list. I don't think he gave her anything other than the list of names because that's all she asked for.
Do we know anybody in the police who can get us the testimonies?
And Lily's going to look at Ben.
Possibly. I mean, that could be a stretch, but it's possible.
I would think that the testimonies are the most damning are the Uber driver and the paramedics. So if we have this Giovanni connection, so that we can work with the morgue records that can explain with the paramedics, and maybe it's the Uber driver. What did they see? That is the most damning story, I would think.
Well, Lily, were you in the car with them?
Yes, and we played it off that she had too much to drink.
Okay, but so there's 16 that saw something or other in one.
Well, they would have seen a girl pass out. I mean, that's pretty much what they would have seen.
They would have seen you cause that, right?
Were people screaming? Like, what?
No, I mean, she was upset with me and was fighting with me.
You know what?
But I mean, it's like I didn't like.
Could this be part of that movie that was being filmed and quote unquote, she puts, like another scene from that?
That's honestly
to get real reactions.
I was thinking about that, like going to them and saying, like, hey, like using that excuse again. I don't know how many times we can use it, but like that would be more useful, I imagine, if they hadn't already spoken to the police. Because then what that requires now is for us to have somebody go talk to the police and say, hey, this whole thing was staged.
Okay.
But then that also ties us to the victim who is still found with most of their blood missing.
Okay. So
But it is a nightclub. People get drunk and get into the nightclub all the time. So if she is not kicking and screaming as they were leaving,
Yeah, she wasn't kicking and screaming.
So,
Is there any way to
she had
convince
passed
her?
out.
Yeah.
Okay, but did she wait? She died, right? As a result.
Well,
she's dead.
As a result, yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's why I see it is the Uber driver story and the paramedics that we don't need to worry about. We don't.
Maybe she needs to be seen alive again.
I was just thinking that, but they've already confirmed. I mean, it would make sense. I mean, considering that they've already found her body, they've already taken her to the morgue, they've already determined that she's deceased and missing half her blood. Yeah, it's pretty hard to fix.
If they've already done an autopsy, like there's no way we're going to pull off, oh, I'm alive. Turns out.
Well, it just happened last night, so.
Yeah, but the paramedics.
So the autopsy probably has not happened yet.
What if it was okay. So what if it was a training exercise for the paramedics?
Yeah, but they called the police in.
Well, I know, but I mean, maybe it got out of hand, and I don't know. Maybe she. I don't know. I'm just trying to think outside of the box here in terms of.
Well, we could call the Giovanni and have their person in the morgue
deem her anemic
and do something with the records.
I think having her anemic, and it was not it was not determined beforehand.
Mm-hmm.
Does anemia kill people? Like, is
It
that?
can.
Yeah, it
Yes,
can
it
if
does.
it's not treated.
Maybe she had.
Can you lose?
And then having drank a lot of alcohol, I mean, she could have easily, being anemic, she could have easily gotten alcohol poisoning.
Maybe she had donated blood previously and hadn't.
Yeah, but there would be a record of that.
Hmm.
We would have to falsify records. I think we just. I like the idea of, and like I said, I will owe the Giovannis on this. You guys do not. But have their mortician state that he found her anemic and she had way too much alcohol in her blood system.
Do people? I understand that you can sell your blood. Is that right?
Yes.
Right.
Would that be difficult to?
No, and that could be anonymous.
I own well, Jerome, I'm trying to get a blood bank thing started, right? Yeah, I would like to not draw a lot of attention to the blood bank thing.
Well, no, there's places, and so out of character, I know this because I had to use them. There are places in Phoenix where you can go in and sell your blood for the plasma.
Yep.
I've done it too.
And so
Yeah, I
she
know
could
that.
have very well, and you can do it anonymously. You don't have to always, at least then, I don't know if they've changed regulations by now, but
Nope,
I know that you can
cannot do it anonymously. Nope.
No,
Okay.
Because they got to know your
Anymore.
medical history, right?
Mhm.
But
And they also give you a test all your sugars and everything so that you don't pass out.
How about this?
And if you
I
have
think
one thing
that
off,
if
you
with
have
her
to-
being, I think with her
Yeah.
being anemic and her drinking too much, it was too much for her system, and she died of blood poisoning, alcohol poisoning.
Or we just contact the Giovanni and say, here's the situation. Do you know how to fix it? Because they're the ones who are experts at this.
yeah, but I feel like I
We should be able to fix it.
I agree because this goes into the other issue that we have, which is that we have no strength in our own city. Is the fact that so often we have to get other people to fix our problems for us, or we have to go and fix other people's problems. Like, before we go to the Giovanni and say, hey, we want you to do this, we should have at least some sort of a plan, even if they go, okay, well,
Or at least
here's
try
what-
it ourselves.
yeah, or at least they can go, okay, well, that might work, but here's how we can amend it. It at least doesn't feel like we're coming to mom and being like, I messed up, can you fix it? can you call the school and tell them that I'm okay? Like, and
Okay.
I'm also not super cool with the idea of cartel activity going on inside of the city. That is also really concerning.
Frankly, I feel the same way.
Like the other thing we could do is make this into like a drug thing instead of just like, oh, it's anemia. She had a drink or something or she had something put into her drink that was not good, and like then at least we could like blame it on like, in something other than just, oh, she was anemic, because anemia doesn't like ruin your blood. Like there's all sorts of terrible drugs out there that do awful things when people ingest them. Like we need to, I don't know.
Okay. So we need the following. At the tomb, for all of the witnesses there, we need their story to make sense. So we need to know what that is. Sophie, you can get the list of those individuals?
Yeah.
Okay.
I can have Colin come and bring it, actually.
Okay. We'll
And
see if that
I'll
list.
send him a text.
Okay.
All right. We'll see if that list happens to have what they said, but if it doesn't, then we work on finding out what it is. And if it's all about the same story, which I wouldn't see why it isn't, if they're all seeing the same exact thing, then we're all right there at the door. Not much of a difference. But we come up with one story that would make sense. And we figure that out for the tomb.
We can put some Yelp reviews commenting on poor security, having
All
not
recent.
handled the incident well.
Do you know how to predate those to before this?
We
Well, I
also
was just thinking we could leave a review commenting on how they let this lover's spat get out of hand or something like that. Whatever we want to spin it to, maybe we can give enough detail that those who were there have, put that bug in their ear about what it actually was.
Yeah, we need to know what they saw so that way we can spin it to our advantage.
Okay.
But the other thing that I think that is even more of an issue is that they saw Lily there. Lily, are you at this place often?
Club.
She owns it.
You're muted.
Yeah, she owns it. Like
Yeah.
I mean,
well,
I suppose I could.
well,
But she owns it on the slide.
I don't. I'm not there.
True,
I'm not
that's
there
true.
every night. No.
But
I
like,
go
are you a known?
usually when I have to.
Are you a known person at this place?
It's not like me and Anzio's, I don't think. Like I'm there pretty much every other night because I'm dealing with shit. But
yeah. But like
I'm there just
that's
as
what.
much as any of the other patrons.
Yeah, but that's what I mean is that like people.
So you're a regular. They know you.
You're a regular. People saw you. People saw you having a lover spat with somebody who later.
And they would have seen me having intimate times with a lot of members of my herd.
Yes, I understand, and that's the bad thing is that you are a known entity at this place. A known person was seen with a person, an altercation happened, and then that person is dead. You got into a car with them, you were last seen with them, and then like how do like if we're not
How
like
do we spin that?
Yeah, like your reputation, like how can we like is there I don't know, like my worry now is that anywhere you go in public, people are going to see you as the person that was last with somebody who died.
Maybe you need a makeover.
Another one.
Is it possible? So this is with the Uber driver story, but is people saw you leave with her in the Uber, correct?
Yes.
So could I do not know how the dominate works, but could the story be that the driver dropped Lily off first and then when he dropped off.
You'd have to prove that in the driver records, as far as the stops are concerned. They record that.
It records the trip.
I don't know. I just take the Uber. I did not know.
If you were to make more than one stop in that Uber, they would track it.
Yeah, because they try to make sure that they
It's
don't.
all about money.
Well, it's not just about money, but it's also like because
something happens to
people have gotten kidnapped from Lyft and Uber rides.
I was the one who called in for the paramedics.
Which also is.
But they don't know that, do they?
Well, yeah.
There's a record.
How do they not?
When they talk to the Uber driver.
Right. I mean.
I'm confused. So you did or didn't call them? Who did?
I was the one that made the call. Will you stop?
Revis goes, none of you have burner phones?
Well, yeah.
Well, regardless of the burner phone, like Uber and Lyft, they're apps where they have your identity and it's tracked. Like you put your face into it. Like the fact of the matter is that like your phone made a lift that a person got into, and then after that person was dropped off, they were dead.
So, yeah, but she's going to have to disappear anyhow.
That's what.
Who's going to have to disappear?
She has to disappear.
Who?
You.
Like,
I mean, that's a given. I don't know any way to avoid that.
Unless we can have like that person who like can change faces, like change your face into something like not what you look like now.
Isadora could do that.
The fact is that regardless of intent and meaning, and I know you're well-meaning most of the time, like a person that was seen with you in a very public place that you frequent often was then later found dead, like by mysterious means. Like we can't just take you to Walmart anymore if once this goes public. Hopefully we can contain it, and it's not, but it's still like, if you show up at that club again, all of those people are going to see you as the person that was with Rebecca, and now Rebecca's no longer with us.
Okay, this is a little story. So you said that this person can change the way she looks. Is that right?
Right.
So can we? Okay, so Revis is saying she has to disappear. So let's say we change Lily's face to a new face. Can we get someone else and make them look like Lily? And I don't know, kill them. And so now Lily is dead, or so we don't have to worry about someone being captured. So
don't you think that we've killed enough people?
We've never killed enough people. I mean, that's not the question. It's
maybe we find someone who's already dead.
Actually, it's like we could. So if we are going to, we could find someone already dead. That's all right. But we can make them look like Lily.
So I feel like we're just making more mysteries. I think if the person who is Lily just vanishes, and like we scrub all of her records, and like we just like the new person exists, like. I don't think we need to go and like, because then that's going to be like, okay, well, why did this person die? And they're going to look into that. Like, we don't need more dead bodies in Ashland. We need.
It's a drug cartel. Is this that you're talking about? The drug cartel killed her. She was these bad drugs you're talking about.
We don't need more dead bodies popping up. I don't think it's a good idea that we kill her off, basically. Or make her disappear. That's just going to be even more suspicious. She won't be able to really show her face. I mean, really run. And I get that, but there's got to be a better solution than that. Like, we have 16 people that are witnesses, so to speak, to a spat that happened. And then we have a body that showed up at my restaurant, half drunk and then dead later. So how do we spin that narrative at this point? Because I don't think that coming up with another body is going to be a good idea.
No, I do not.
Ben, you get a text.
Who?
Beefy.
Here we go. And he pulls it out. What's the text?
Okay, it's a text from Detective Rumbus. And it's a police sketch.
Oh, gosh.
And he says, wanted to give you a heads up as this looks like somebody I've seen with
Mhm.
you. Is something amiss? And that's all
And
the
this,
text says. And it's a
okay.
picture. It's basically an artist sketch, which looks remarkably like Lily.
Okay. Gotcha. All right. So I look at this. I look at the text. I don't respond right away, and I look to everyone like, all right. So Detective Rumbus has a police sketch of Lily. Yeah, they did a great job at knowing who she is.
So you're going to have to be laying low for until we can get some way to either clear you of this or get your face changed or something. Does Lily have like is she like a like is she a citizen? Like are they going to be able to go and like find her address from all this stuff?
Who are you talking about? Mortals or us?
I'm the immortals, like the police. Like if they have a sketch, like it's not going to. And like Lily is a person with a driver's license and
And how
like
old
a
is Lily? Total?
Lily's like 50.
So yeah.
She
Yeah.
doesn't have a driver's license. She doesn't drive.
Well, but I mean, like, is there like in Ashland? Is there a, like a pub?
There is a way to track her by actual identification, not
Okay,
by
so
a driver's license, obviously, but there is a little bit of a paper trail.
okay, so they're going to be going to her house at some point because
But how would they know where my haven is when it was under Maggie and Donald's name?
Okay, you kind of
Association.
you're forgetting about we have maybe 72 hours to solve this, or we're not going to have to worry about the
Oh,
mortals.
we're not forgetting. Trust me, we're not forgetting.
Well, that's why you keep
Yeah.
looking for these long solutions. You need to find something everyone can do in a short amount of time and do
yeah,
it.
we get that, but
Yeah, clean up the mess.
the police showing up at her haven is also pretty bad.
An
Like
immediate
that's
and long-term problem.
these are things that we should be aware of. I'm not looking for a solution at her home. I'm saying that like her family needs to be her house needs to be either cleaned up or it needs to be prepared for when police go there asking questions about her
Mhm.
relation to the body that they've discovered.
Especially with your lab there.
Mm.
How long would it take you to clean up your area, babe?
Give me a wits and occult check. Difficulty 6.
I mean, apparently Sansa's the one to help move things, so maybe she could help you.
Sim Salabim.
She's the one with the mental truck, apparently.
Sansa's moving services.
Jerome,
You know, it can make a buck.
What's
I
up?
bet.
I've got a contact I haven't used, a major.
1, 2, 3,
Can we opt
4.
for something in media?
I have
Not at this moment.
Okay,
But
I just figure I'd
I have
ask.
one point in media.
but in the future, yeah, we could look into something
Okay.
like that.
6.
Okay.
I have 1 point in media.
Wow, nice.
You've had to do this a couple of times in the past, just from shuffling around from like one territory to another. So aside from like new things that you might have purchased or whatnot, you've gotten it down to again, barring any sort of external assistance, it would take you if you were taking let's put it in Spaceballs terms. If you're taking only what you need to survive, you could do it in 5 hours. If you're condensing the entirety of like your like occult library and all your tools and equipment, it's probably going to take you like 72 hours rush job.
I have a question though, because I just thought of something. Because she performed the ritual where the paperwork for her place would get lost in bureaucracy.
Okay.
So how would they find her?
on an out of character level, you would have no idea. This is all up in the air at this point. The only thing you could really add is that, to that side of the conversation is you have a ritual that helps protect your haven.
Okay, so I have a ritual that I performed when I first moved here that protects my haven from bureaucracy. It means I have no paper trail.
Okay.
There's no electric bill, there's no water bill, there's no rent, no nothing.
How about neighbors? Do
That would be
neighbors see
really
you?
nice.
Do neighbors see you coming in and out of this place?
They would probably only at night.
Because like if this
They
becomes
don't see me during the day, of course.
Right.
yeah, but I mean, if this is a circulated image, like, then it's possible that your bureaucracy thing, it's going to stop them from looking you up, but it's not going to stop somebody from going, oh, I've seen that person. They live in the house next door. They just moved in.
So
Baroness,
we can either try to change Lily, where she disappears, or she just happened to be in the wrong place at the wrong time, and someone else slipped that girl some sort of meds. That's why she just suddenly fell unconscious without any injuries. They were going to drive somewhere, and then Lily's
Panic.
she panicked or something.
I mean, I am only 18.
Made the call, but
I am 18 and I am insulted.
Baroness, media.
What should we do with the media?
Need to bury the story on page 10. That's the first step. Take it out of public view, diminish its visibility.
Is that going to work with the cam who are
No, of course not, because they're going to be watching to see what exactly we do. It's sad that we tell them what we're doing, but this is under the microscope to begin with. So you bite the bullet, you do what needs to be done, get it off the front page. Take it away from being front page news. That might buy you another day, maybe. And we need all the time we can get,
I
obviously,
still
by
think
this
that we're going to
discussion.
need the Giovanni's help. And
We
like
might, but if we go to them and we've done nothing, their willingness to help us is going to be very small.
It's and expensive.
So
that's
it's
why I said I would have to owe them a boon.
Well, look, we need to, like he said, we need to stop relying on outside people. We need to stop relying on the Giovanni. We need to get our own damn contacts and figure this out.
Yeah, but we don't
ourselves.
have those right now.
Well,
those would be nice for future, but right
Speak
now
for
we have to
itself.
work with what we got.
Yeah, well, okay, yet another favor for the Giovanni.
Can you think of anything that the mayor could conceivably do as far as pulling strings to bury this?
Is there any way we can... I don't like the cartel. Why don't we blame it on... We say that, like... that the cartel is the one that is responsible. Use them as a scapegoat.
I like that. You need to do just one thing in that case. You need to put it into the medical record when they ran her bios.
Yeah. Well,
you need to get the drug in there, which is not that hard to do with the right people. So if you go that route, you don't have to change a lot. You can let most of the story stand. She took a bad hit at the restaurant. It caused her to be paranoid and schizoid, caused the fight with Lily. You can take it from there.
What if we add another... Do we know anybody who can... that would pass as like a goth that we could have come forward to the police? And now we add a new wrinkle. We'll say that before this person was seen with the altercation, that they were seen in the back talking to somebody who fits the description of... You've seen these cartel people, right, Ben?
Yeah.
Yes.
They were seen talking with somebody who is has a certain description. We can back that up as that's a person who is at the cartel. We could say that they were given something.
It could be arranged if that's what you're asking. It will cost me a lot. This will be the second favor I've pulled for this particular endeavor.
well, the safety of the city and the not
I'm
having.
I'm just saying. I already supplied the mule for the exchange that got Cindy back.
All right. Well, even if we need to get somebody, even if there's somebody in like Lily's herd that we can have who has not.
I can get you what you want. That's not an issue.
Yeah, but my like what my thought is that if we can skew this so that way it's not a vampire problem, it's a drug use problem, then what we can do is we can have the mayor talk about it as, the cartel has been seen in the city doing illicit things at the clubs. Our youth is very vulnerable. We should all be careful to around these kinds of people. We can spin it
Maybe
as
maybe a good opportunity to start some anti-drug initiative.
Jerome?
What if I was to present myself to Detective Rumbus and give him my account of what happened? We had a spat.
It might be necessary, but let us try the play
She passed
first.
out, and
Let us try to supply the other factor first. Jerome?
What's up?
My criminal contact that I used for the mule, I'm sure this is going to cost me at this point. I'm going to get on the phone with them and tell them I need a witness for this event, preferably Gothic. Just tell me how much it's going to cost.
Couldn't we feed that information to somebody that was actually there?
one of Lily's herd.
Ben's the only one I know that can dominate somebody into doing something like that.
I can.
I don't have dominate. I can't make people do things like that. It's the emotional stuff.
Given it's that specific,
You could do that too.
Let me roll real quick.
I'm pretty sure I can do that.
See what, if anything, he can do.
I would prefer not to
All right.
cost Rebus.
He'll get on that as it's specific. He doesn't have a timetable yet.
Okay.
But he'll try and figure something out.
If it's good in 40 hours, I'll be happy with it. 48 hours is plenty of time.
Okay.
We can, if I can meet with one of Lily's herd, so let's get the names of these people that gave the statement. If we can find one of Lily's herd that was there, and I can get with them.
I can give you the name of my herd.
I think, and let me just double check on this. I think I can. What's it called? I think I can use dominate in order to like feed them an idea or feed them a story that they'd be able to go especially if they haven't already given a testimony. This could be a person who didn't think any of it at the time, but then
They
got
could have
scared.
saw the drug deal go down. They could have saw.
Well, they may have been scared, but then after seeing all of this stuff, have been more they couldn't keep quiet anymore, and then they come forward with a new testimony.
Baroness,
let's see.
My guy's working on it.
So anyway, we can just
But if
credit
we can
all
do
of
this
those guys.
if we can do this without costing more money,
It's going to cost us something. It's just
Well,
what you
at
want to
least
pay.
$1 million.
I mean, if I can do it, and I may have to ask you, Jerome. Is that something I can do? Because I'm looking up because I don't have the vampire book on this computer.
Okay, well,
But
I can tell you because dominate was attempted to be used in the scene in question. Dominate cannot be used to force somebody to do something that's either going to cause their life, or the update in V20 goes directly against their scruples. Like if it's way beyond their principles, like go snort that coke, and maybe they're very anti-vehemently drugs, they're not going to do it.
Yeah.
It will automatically, no matter how
or
many
something
successes.
do, or a presence
Yeah.
do that.
That's where presence would come into play. But again, you're not forcing them. You're just making it You know, you're
Very
like,
good
oh, all the
suggestion.
cool kids are doing it, sort of thing.
If
Yeah,
I can
well-
you not like insert a false memory
Yeah,
with
like,
dominate?
But this is with dominate in general. You
Yeah, yeah.
cannot do anything that's going to force them to that's going to cost them their life, or go against or go directly against their scruples.
Yeah, and I have no intention of that. What I would like to do is,
No, I was
if
answering
we
her
can.
question.
Oh, okay. I'm sorry. Like, if I can, with 4 points of dominate, would I be able to uh, implant a memory that happens before the very vocal or very like visible lover spat, as we call it, where this person was seen with a person of cartel persuasion, and uh, things were exchanged, drinks were had, and the cartel person left, so that way we can at least, when we do a mysterious drug or something, an overdose was found in the body, we have a person who can go to the police and say, I didn't think anything of it, but I did see this person with this individual, and they gave them something that they put into a drink. um, and like, would that be, is that something I could do with Dominique? Because like, I don't think that would compromise their morals necessarily, because like, in the end, it would be them going to the police to report something that they thought was fishy and wrong, especially after, and they may not have thought anything of it until they found out a day later that that person that they saw was dead.
You can you can certainly attempt that with conditioning.
Okay.
Would that work with awe as well, like in sort of like a combo deal?
No, again.
Or okay,
And
well, presence
transcend?
in general.
Presence is
Entrancement,
literal.
yeah.
Presence is literally described as all the cool kids are doing it, and you're using peer pressure, in essence, to get somebody to do it.
Yeah. Okay.
It's way more passive,
Right.
so it's still doable, but again, it's not. Dominate is the hammer, and presence is basically the sweet candy.
So that'd be conditioning. So
Side
because
note,
like, I think
Jerome.
if
Oh, go ahead.
no, go ahead.
I was gonna have a segue. So keep going.
Yeah, because like, my thought is like, if this is something that I can do, and it's not going to cost Revis like a ton of cash with his contacts and not forcing him to burn a contact he doesn't need, then I'm willing to give it a try. But
We need
it's
to have a
definitely,
backup. It's not a big deal, honestly.
yeah.
For reasons you're not going to understand at this point. For Revis, it's not a big deal. And
Okay.
Ben knows
Well,
why, and the Baroness probably knows why, depending on what Ben's told her.
Yeah.
But
It-
he doesn't consider it anything other than what he has to do.
it might be a good idea for us to both do it, so that way we have two witnesses that are coming forward after the fact that saw the same thing. That way,
That's-
two people's stories line up.
They corroborate with each other.
So you're going to.
Yeah.
So then, if I understand it correctly, Lily is going to have one of her herd meet you here.
I
In a
would prefer
condition?
not to do it.
Not
I would
here.
not. I
here.
would not want to do it here. What I would like to
Then
do is,
I need to understand how you're going to do it.
all right. Well, first, I want to get the list of the people that gave testimonies, and I want to make sure that the people that
See
are,
how many were on my herd from my
yeah,
herd.
and if there is a herd member who did not give a testimony, because if Lily has the names, I want to specifically go for somebody who has not given a testimony yet.
Okay.
And then,
Well, then I'll let you know, because we can zip past that.
Mhm.
Colin did drop off the paperwork, essentially, of the. It's basically just a piece of paper with the list of the people who are
List of names.
who have testified to the police at this point. None of her herd is on that list.
And it didn't say anything about what the testimonies were.
No, just the names.
Okay.
all right.
Yeah,
So,
because I did repair my herd.
Yeah,
Okay.
Before the game.
not as of yet though, because this is the very next night.
Yeah.
but do you know the names of people?
Of my
that are in your-
herd, yes.
Yeah, that's why I
I
said
have
her.
I have
no
their
one of her
numbers
herd
too.
is on that list.
Okay. I'm going to need a list of the people in your herd, your contact info. This might be helpful if you can be there, so that way it's not just me contacting them out of nowhere. But we need to meet with one or more of them in a secluded place so that I can try doing this and giving them a suggestion that will not get them killed.
What do you think, Ben? Where do you think we should?
A secluded place. I mean,
Fairgrounds?
fairgrounds, just any random alleyway, some gas stations on the outskirts of town.
Somewhere there they're not going to be seen meeting with me beforehand.
Yeah.
Well, also, the odds of them not knowing something is wrong are probably not in your favor. So, does any of you have presence?
I do.
Well, sure.
I do, but it's very minor.
I do, obviously.
I have. Yeah, Sophie, you may want to come.
I do
with
as
if you
well.
can. Okay.
Well,
You're gonna want someone there who's going to be able to calm them.
We're gonna do the Care Bear stare.
I would prefer to have Ben with me. Ben has presence, so sorry guys, but I would prefer to have Ben with me.
I mean that's fine. Like I have presence too. We can.
And I know who to reach out to. I'll just tell them that I need to see them. And
Or even
I just need some emotional.
I getcha. You know what
some
we could.
emotional support.
Sure.
You know what we could also do if we don't want to have you be exactly there, because like moving you from place to place is going to be tricky. What we could do is
Because I can obfuscate.
okay, but we could have Private Eye Ben wants to talk to them about the events of that night. You know, meet us at a place, and then we're just all special investigators in a location of our choosing, and then we talk to them.
Can I still be there even though I'll be obfuscated?
I mean, if you want to be there, I think that's fine. But I think that like, I also worry that, you know, it just occurred to me having you contact them might also be a bad.
Yep.
Because
right.
That's
so
fine.
here's what we'll do. Babe, give me the name or two of the people you want us to contact. I'll make the call, and like what Remus is saying, I'll be like, hey, yeah, I'm looking into what happened at the club. I'd like to talk to you tonight if at all possible. Let's meet here. I'm going to bring one of my partners with me, and that's going to be you, Remus. You'll come with. Babe, you don't have to come.
You're taking a statement. You want someone like a stenographer. So,
Well,
show up with like a recording machine and a pad of paper and make it look as legit as possible.
Of course. And then in the middle of the talk, you do what you do, I'll do what I do, and we'll get them to think what we want them to think.
Yeah, and then at the end of it, we'll tell them,
Excuse me
like,
while I whip
you know,
this
thank you
out.
for your information, but we would really appreciate it if you also give a statement to
what
the
if
police.
we have them meet you at the office, Ben?
That would make a lot of sense. Yeah. That way it's public. It's not in a strange location. It's controlled. We'll do that.
Right.
Okay.
And how are you going to explain to Detective Rumbus that because I'm your girlfriend, you decided to do a little investigating on the side?
Pretty much, yeah. And at the same time, it might actually be good for you to go down and give a statement and just play nice and pretty much what we've been discussing already.
But I can't cry real tears. Yeah. But they know, he knows both of us. I mean, maybe we can
You'll
bring
give the statement directly to Detective Rumbus, and that way you'll have a little bit of leeway there.
Maybe he can meet us at the office as well.
Sure. We'll have to
Maybe give
schedule that.
them a different timetable.
Oh, sure.
Right.
Of course, not the same night.
No, we'll make sure that he gets to witness us brainwashing, a person to making him a Manchurian candidate. No, yeah, we're different times.
No.
I mean, it's
And-
efficient, right?
And you gentlemen will make sure that I have an accurate portrayal of what you're telling them, so that when I have the
Yes.
second one, they will be telling the same story.
Yeah.
Thank
And
you.
I wouldn't give them a too detailed of account of who the drug dealer is because we really don't need the sanguine tears after us. They just saw a drug deal go down.
By
Yeah.
the way, the marshal did ask me if I knew anything about the Valle Picaro suddenly coming into a great deal of money.
Well, what are you going to tell him? We can't tell him that we gave him $1 million to get back a daughter that's not really his daughter.
I wasn't sure what to tell him.
Why don't you simply say that a ransom was paid? A member of your community retrieved a member of their family who was being held for ransom, and you were not aware of the details until you asked.
I mean, honesty is the best policy in some cases.
Okay, I could probably.
He should be able to read between the lines. And
Yeah,
Okay,
but wouldn't
so-
that mean to him that you're willing to pay drug dealers in a cartel to,
I would
fund
just
their
tell
shit?
him that this time you have no idea.
You're
it
trying to
happens
save
all
a
the
life.
time. Ransoms get paid to the cartels all the time.
Okay, so just to clarify, and so we can keep the game moving, what exactly is happening with Ben and Remus?
We're going to contact one of Lily's herd, and we're going to ask them to come down and tell us kind of what they saw the night of the incident, and during that time, while we have them in a room where hopefully we can keep this to where it's
And
like
where are you recommending this take place at?
Pantheon investigations.
Okay.
Let's do it there.
Yeah, and we're and I'm going to try to implant the idea into their mind that before the altercation happened, that they saw this girl having like what it looked to be a drug deal with somebody. They didn't get all of the particulars, but they saw things moving around tables. They saw drinks being taken, and then that person left, and they didn't think much of it.
Okay, so to speed this up a little bit, the rest of you are obviously Abby had to go. The rest of you are at the club still. Ben and Remus leave to go to Pantheon Investigations to meet up with Hank the Herd, herd dot number 1.
I know how to pick them.
When you guys start talking to him about the events, he was never there. He was not at the club.
I wouldn't have given him I would have given him somebody who was there.
Nobody was there outside of the one that you called.
What?
So none of my herd was there that night.
The only member of your herd that was there is the one that you attacked. That's the only one that you called. You're not calling all your herd to show up. That's not how herd works.
I mean, that's how it works for Sophie.
Yeah. I mean,
if you're trying to drink multiple people, I mean, I guess, yeah. If you're trying to, dance in a bloodbath.
because she would have chosen regulars that go there. But okay.
And again, it's not preventing you from having chosen a regular, and all of them have been there. But the only one that was there this night was the one that you called, because you were calling them specifically for this meeting to make them become a drug mule.
Okay.
Yeah, I almost forgot that aspect. So you mentioned it, Jerome. It was one at a time. Yeah.
So, but in your line of questioning, when you guys are probing them for that, they were never there. They weren't there that night.
Back to the drawing board. Call another person.
So in the middle of that, then I text Lily and go, we need somebody who was at your club. Do you know anyone else? Doesn't have to be your herd.
What about one of the names on the list?
Yep.
Well, but they've already given a statement.
They could have.
And you guys were literally doing the same thing. Oh, wait, I recall something else about this night.
Well, no, but the point of this was to get somebody who hadn't given a statement already,
Right.
so that way they could come forward with information that hadn't been given by people who saw the altercation.
Okay, so then just plant information in somebody that is a normal regular. You know who's there, right, Lily?
Yeah, she would know.
Yeah, I mean, maybe.
Yeah, so
I'll
she.
tell you what. I'll give you a roll for the list of names. I mean,
Okay.
you don't have pictures,
I
but
mean, you could
Yeah,
call.
you recognize a name that's a regular.
Sure.
You know.
You
yeah,
could,
you
or
can
you
absolutely do that.
call the bartender and get a name off of a credit card bill or something.
There you go.
Yeah, I'll do that.
Of
Call the bartender and get a name of somebody who was there that night off the credit card.
Somebody that isn't already on the list.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
I would hide that phone call trace if I were you.
Okay, so
Well, she would just call.
so to
like,
keep
it
so
would-
hold on a
it-
second. Hold on a second.
okay.
So to keep this from getting more complicated, because I
Yeah.
don't want us getting stuck in analysis paralysis. The club is closed right now, so your people
Right.
do not have access to the location. They would not have the ability to just pull credit card information like that.
Don't you have like employee records and stuff?
In the club, yes.
Okay, so
owner
maybe
would
she
have.
just remembers somebody.
Okay.
But you could do that from
Um,
the list of names, yes.
Okay, so what am I rolling?
You're going to roll wits and investigation.
Spend a will.
4, 5, 6, and I am going to spend a willpower.
Okay.
1, 2, 3, 4, 6. Yeah. So 1, 2, 3, so 4.
So you're good.
That's including the willpower.
You spot at least one name of somebody that you recognize. You know who you don't necessarily have his number, but I mean, for Ben, finding him probably shouldn't be too difficult. But yeah, you readily identify. You know,
Josie.
Yeah, there you go. Just whatever. Yeah. A name on the list.
Henrietta the herd.
Yeah, none of these are herd members. These are just people from the list.
Oh, yeah, that's right. Sorry.
And maybe that's for the best anyway, guys, because then they might see it as, well, that's part of her posse. So they're sticking
Yeah.
up for her.
That's fine.
So, yeah, Josie Hernandez spin.
Got it. And I'll send that back. And then I'll say, like, thank you for your time, sir, ma'am, whoever came in. We'll take that into consideration. Have a good night. Escort them out.
Okay. Yeah, he just waves and hopes everything's okay. And
Then
takes off.
go to Jay, the office manager there at Pantheon, and
Jay
see if he
Ricada.
and see if he can run like a background to get like the location or phone number off of this person that Layla just gave.
Okay. Yeah, let me take a look, boss. Give me a second. So he hops on the computer and starts doing some typety types.
Burn a willpower.
Yeah, for an NPC. Burn a willpower. He says, okay, so I've got the listing of some, it's about 75% assurity, because we don't have a whole lot else to go off of, but matches his name and here in Ashland.
Okay, we got a phone number for him?
We've got 3. You know how record tracking goes, so you'll have to call all 3.
Right. All right. Appreciate it, Jay. He grabs the 3 phone numbers and starts making calls to see if he can find the person who was at the tomb on that night.
Okay. Odd or even?
Even.
Okay. So you dial the first number. Bring. Somebody picks up. Sounds like female. Hello?
Hi there, ma'am. My name is Benjamin Baxter, lead investigator at Pantheon Investigations, looking into an incident that happened at a local club, the Tomb. Uh, did you happen to be there last night?
She says, I've already given my statement to the police.
I see. I understand, and yeah, I'm not with the police per se. Again, I'm with Pantheon Investigations. We're a private investigation firm. I have a client that's well, they're needing some information as well. I'd really appreciate it if you'd be able to come down to the office as soon as possible. If I could just ask you a few questions to get your take exactly on what went down.
Okay, roll your charisma and BS.
Ben
Or
definitely
you
has
go to
that.
them. You know.
So it's your charisma and subterfuge, difficulty 8.
Okay.
BS.
Will his enchanting voice merit
Not
decrease
on the
that?
phone.
Not on the phone. Okay.
Burn a willpower.
Yeah, actually, yeah, I will.
Is BS a talent or a skill?
It's listed as subterfuge, basically.
Oh,
That's the art of lying and picking up a lie. And Ben is lying big time.
Oh, nice. Okay, so that's a total of 3 successes.
Oh, okay. And you asked if she could come down. Is that what you said?
Yeah.
Okay. And she says, I suppose, how long is this going to take?
No longer than like 20 or 30 minutes tops.
All
Offer her a
right.
cab fare.
Compensate for her time. Tweet tweet.
is that a thing that you get when you give testimonies to private investigators?
I don't know.
No.
She's reluctant. Money usually incentivizes people.
Uh-oh, is that a special Rachel drink, or is that just juice?
No, that's just juice.
Okay.
If somebody asked me to give a statement and that was like, "We'll give you money," I would be like, "That would be a red flag."
Right.
That is a red flag.
Yeah.
So, she kind of hems and haws and lets you know that she'll be down after a while.
Appreciate it, ma'am. Excellent. And go ahead and give her the address and all that.
Okay.
Is this going to be a problem that this is somebody who's already given their testimony?
Well, perhaps us talking to them jogged her memory. I mean, that's literally what we're doing, right? Wink, wink.
Yeah, but now I'm also worried about the moment her memory was jogged was when she met the person who was seen with the attacker. The hope was that this would be somebody who wouldn't kind of be able to make those connections.
So, eventually she does come down. Young woman, mid-20s. Probably she's college age, so if she doesn't go to the university, maybe she goes to community college or something, nearby. Dressed very casually, and she just jeans and t-shirt with a jacket right now. She looks around and is still very reserved, being in the office or whatnot. But thankfully, it's not like it looks weird or it has any sort of bizarre motif to it.
Right. Okay. Yeah, Ben will walk up and offer his hand a shake. Hi, ma'am. Benjamin, we talked on the phone earlier.
Yeah. So, I'm sorry, but what else could I possibly add?
Yeah, and again, we're just trying to come at this from a different angle, trying to find out exactly what happened. We're wondering if something else might be at play due to other things that have happened in town. If you're willing to come back in my office here, my friend and I, he's going to be taking some notes and asking some questions too, just so we can be as thorough as possible. We really appreciate it.
Okay, and she walks with you, into the office. No, never mind. I was thinking of something, but then I thought, no, Ben probably never would have done that. So, don't worry. So
right.
to speed this up,
Mhm.
you are attempting to implant false information into her. So basically, how are you putting this, and what exactly are you telling her?
We're going to implant that while she was in the club before the and I guess like also like as we're talking with her, like can we have her recount what she saw? Like, can you just tell
Sure.
us like kind of
Sure. Okay.
okay,
So
yeah.
then real quick, she recounts at this point what she ends up recounting. Obviously, she part of her story was that she was there with some friends uh, from local friends. They were just getting some drinks. They just got done, throwing darts. And as they came back, they encountered basically somebody they describe that she describes as Lily, having a what seemed to be a very heated argument with defendant, uh, or with the victim, I should say, the alleged victim. And she specifically cites about running drugs.
Okay.
And she thought it was weird, and she kind of looked to her friends, and they all were kind of clueless, and so she was watching them, and then the girl kind of ran out, ran forward towards the front of the place. The other girl, Lily, pursued her, followed up to the front, got physical quick, slammed her up, slammed the girl, stopped her from leaving, slammed her up against the wall. And then they started, tussling or something. And next thing she knows, the other girl went completely limp, at like spaghetti noodle, like she was, completely out. And then Lily dragged her outside, presumably to leave, because she didn't see her. She didn't see him the rest of the night.
Okay. All right. So with that in mind, what I would like to implant into their mind is that while they were playing darts at the bar, prior to the altercation where they mentioned like running drugs, um, I want to implant to her that she while she was waiting for her turn looked over it and saw in like an isolated kind of corner uh, the victim having a meeting with somebody who didn't look like they fit the goth persuasion. Somebody that looked kind of, just like, "Ooh, okay, this person kind of stands out a little bit."
Okay.
Hands, things were exchanged. The person put uh, a like something into the girl's hand, which she then took,
Okay.
and they met and discussed, and then that person walked away. Then later on, uh, when Lily comes up, the discussion about the running drugs
Mm-hmm.
is I want to amend that Lily is not happy hearing that she's agreeing to be like a mule for whoever this person is.
Okay. Roll your charisma and leadership. Difficulty 7.
Spend a will.
Yeah, I'm going to spend a willpower, please. Okay.
It's the motto for tonight. Spend a willpower.
Spend the willpower.
That's our other catchphrase. Okay, so that's
You know
and
what? It can make or break. So yeah.
Yeah.
and leadership. Okay. Okay. Oh, thank goodness I have a 4 in charisma. Yeah. And I have a 3 in leadership, so okay.
Nice.
All right, so I'm spending a willpower. Okay. Okay.
So
Okay, so
excited.
yeah, so because I have a 4, the 10 is
10's
two
count for
successes,
2.
right?
Yep.
Okay. All right. So that is. So that's 2. That's 3. That's 4. That's 5. Plus 1 for the willpower. So 6 successes.
Nice.
Wow, nice.
Okay.
Oh.
So,
so
you talk to her and basically tell her what she's supposed to think. And she loses a little bit of personality in her face. Kind of a little bit more robotic looking at this point. And she's just like, okay. And just, and is that it?
Yeah. I think that's it.
Ben will give an affirming nod.
Okay. Yeah. And
Okay,
then
she says, okay, bye then. And she just kind of gets up and walks out.
Should we maybe should you maybe go and say like, hey, maybe you should go and give a updated.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So then, as she's walking out, Ben will go outside and be like, Miss, really appreciate you talking to us. You may want to actually contact the police and let them know if there's anything else that jogged your memory there.
Okay, well, I was going to do that anyways, because I remembered something that happened that I didn't tell them about.
Appreciate it. Have a good night.
You too.
Ben lets her off. Ben comes back in. He's like, all right. She's doing the whole robot stare thing, but might be enough.
Yeah, I hope she'll be all right. I don't enjoy having to do that, but if we can smooth this over and not turn it into a bigger mess, then I think it's worth it.
Yeah, it's for the Anarchs. We can do it.
Okay, so Henri and Sansa, just to clarify before end of game, are going to be working together to clear out Anzios of the blood, right? Damaris, Sansa, and Henri.
Okay. I'm
just trying to clarify. Yeah. Is Todd still here?
Yeah, I'm here.
Okay. So that's the plan, right?
Henri, I need you to make your check for, basically a stealth check. If nobody's there looking for you, you obfuscate without any.
And I would use the bird to tip the camera up or something.
Yeah, no problem. I'm not gonna make you roll for that. That's just, all you have to do is just ask a bird. Go.
Yeah.
Go.
Just flutter in and
look
just
at the
fuck
shiny.
with it. Yeah.
Is it dex stealth or just stealth?
Dex and stealth.
Okay.
Dun, dun, dun,
All right, let me pull up Sansa's sheet just in case.
And Santa will need to be silent. It will need to be silent as well.
I shall be. Do I need to roll stealth as well?
Yes, dex and stealth.
Okay. I'll burn a will for an auto.
Okay.
Where's my... Oh, there they are. Dex and stealth. Okay. Okay. 2, 3 with the auto.
Nice.
Okay. All right. Good enough. Okay, so with that being said, then you guys spend the rest of the night slowly but surely with a couple of Sim Salabims get the blood supply out. Where you, because you can take it, what is it, a half mile?
Up to half mile away.
So where are you dropping it off at?
I would expect that we would have sort of a place set up, ideally.
Van.
A van, yes. There you go. I will have it go into a van that they supplied.
So
to take it away.
Robert's van.
Robert's
Sure.
van.
Okay. Anytime I think of that that magic, I forget the name of the magic spell that
Conjuration.
you're using. Conjuration, yeah. I think of the Mummy from the Darkstalkers games, because he has this punch maneuver where he punches forward, but his arms disappear right up front, and they appear further out on the screen, and they do this.
That's funny.
They do this little slapping motion thing.
Sure.
So, I'll have to find like the clip or something so you can see what it looks like. But that's anytime I think of that, that's what I'm thinking of. It's like you're reaching into some place and you're doing a little slappy thing, and then, I don't know why. That's what it visualizes. So, anyways, so that's what you're doing. We're going to go ahead and stop here for the night, since it's almost a complete 3 hours at this point. Sorry, Abby couldn't make it. Davy Jones is like, yes, Darkstalkers.
I feel like we made progress. Downtimes are going to be a big thing, I feel like, in this case.
We didn't get to the big discussion about policy.
Yeah, so obviously you're still going to want to discuss some of that. Obviously.
So maybe Sophie will have to play at the next Blood Ties game.
Maybe. Just letting you know, yeah, this is going to spill over into Blood Ties coming up next Saturday, which that will be the 20th. Coming up tomorrow is our Marvel Superheroes game, Modern Age Heroes, as we hopefully finish up the last leg of the what would have been Abby's last game, but unfortunately she was only with us for the month of April, and the game ran a little bit longer. So
XP.
So
right?
No, yes.
Birthday?
Wombat. No.
Birthday. Haley's.
Haley is not here, so you're going to have to wait to see what she gets until Saturday.
That's right.
Did we roll for May? Because I don't think
We did.
reported that.
Yeah, I
What
didn't
do we
write
get
that
for
down
that?
either.
Ooh,
Yeah, I think we put it in the. We put it in the.
Hopefully somebody
messenger.
put it in the chat.
I think because there were 2 numbers, right?
I think we had a total of 5.
Yes, that is correct.
Not counting birthday XP, right?
Right. We're not adding birthday XP as of yet because it needs to be rolled.
Cool.
So, and then next week on Wednesday we're doing Cyberpunk. So Cyberpunk will be Wednesday the 17th, and then Wednesday the 18th. We're actually going to go live with our first Street Fighter game.
Yeah.
Which is based off of the storytelling rules from White Wolf. So if you're interested in that, drop in. It's going to be at 7 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. So hopefully you guys can stop by and check it out. Street Fighter is a lot of fun. They're a team that's going to be based out of Australia.
Yeah.
Should be.
I'm playing in that one. I'm excited.
Who's going to be using an Australian accent?
I'm
Everyone.
gonna fail at it, so no.
So
because I'll let the others fail first.
What night is that?
Thursday.
Thursday.
Thursday the 18th, 7 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. So thank you guys all for tuning in. We had a lot of fun tonight. A lot of stuff went down as I kind of figured it would. So hope you guys tune in to tomorrow night's game, and we'll see you then. Good night, guys.
Bye.
Night.
Gosh, we have so much